Okay, let's start by traveling all the way back to 1500 BC. This is as far as back as we can place the first sundials. At this point in human history, people relied on the sun and the shadow movement on the sundial to mark the hours and time tracking during the day. At night, our ancestors looked up to the sky to observe star patterns. These helped them divide the night into segments. Pretty neat for 3,500 years ago, right?